Bob's Breakfast.
Did you know that Paula Abdul got puked on?
I'd read about this morning.
Have you heard it?
I've not heard it, no.
Oh, you're in for a treat. Paula Abdul, she's the judge on an American talent show called So You Think You Can Dance, which sounds like it's a bit like a cross between Strictly and Britain's Got Talent. It's a dancing contest. Anyway, 12-year-old girl does her dance. Paula Abdul goes out to congratulate her.
I am so proud of you. Are you okay, honey? Okay. We okay? It's okay, honey.
Are you all right?
It's okay. I'm so sorry. It's okay, honey. It's okay.
Did I hear what I thought I heard halfway through?
Yes, you did.
Right.
Hooly dooly.
Well, you know, the girl said Abdul had squeezed her a bit too tightly.
That's what she said. The quote from the kid is, she squeezed me too tight and all the happiness came out.
I might use that in future.
It's a good save, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if you had a big night on the Terps or something, you've been out for a night out, and you know, yes, I had a great night tonight, but when I got home, unfortunately, all the happiness came out.
This is Bob's Breakfast.
I've been with my husband for 28 years, and for 25 of those years, I believed that he could actually tell the colour of my knickers just by feeling them. Now, I've now realised that he actually has a little sneaky peek earlier on in the day, and then he saves it for an opportune moment, and then he tells me the colour of my knickers, and I honestly believed it.
And what he's actually doing is he's copping a feel without you minding, because you think he's doing important research.
Absolutely.
And how was he found out?
Because I caught him looking, because he now has to put glasses on, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Now that I've got this image that looks really pervy of a bloke putting glasses on and then sneaking a peek.
Thank you. That's exactly how I think it is.
Cigarettes will only be sold in plain packaging now.
That's right, yeah. From today. There was a big court case surrounding this as well.
Big court case surrounding this, and idiots continue to smoke.
Well, seems to be the case that the tobacco industry is still alive and well.
Which is amazing, because there is no other product that, when used exactly as the manufacturer intends it to be used, will probably kill you. Now, you can say there are lots of things that will probably kill you. Food will kill you if you eat the wrong food. Cars will kill you if you do the wrong thing. But they don't expect you to overeat. They don't expect you to drive badly when you buy a car or overeat when you buy food. Alcohol, the same thing. They don't want you to drink to excess. But cigarettes, they want you to smoke 20 a day. And that will kill you. And everybody knows that.
Absolutely.
It's not a secret.
No, you don't go into this thinking, oh, it's healthy for me.
Yeah.
It's not.
Plain packet, I don't know. It's not plain though, is it? It's got like diseased lungs and that on it.
Yeah, it's going to be green with plain font and no logos, they're saying.
I was talking about this the other day in the office, because I did used to smoke. From the age of 14 to the age of 21, I smoked.
So you kicked it in reasonably early.
Reasonably
then
early.
Again, you started reasonably early.
Yeah,
so.
well, when I say I started at 14, I wasn't smoking 20 a day or something at 14. I was smoking seriously from 18, though. I started smoking because I wanted to appear grown up and cool. And I gave up smoking because I wanted to appear grown up and cool.
It's Bob.
I don't trust Cambridge. I went there yesterday. I'm very suspicious of a town that hates cars as much as Cambridge does. I mean, there are loads of streets you're not allowed to drive down. It's ironic that there was once a car named after this place that hates cars so much. Cambridge loves push bikes. The blinking things are everywhere. Why are they encouraging you to ride a bike instead of driving a car? For every mile you ride on a bike on the road, you're 6 times more likely to be killed than if you were driving an actual vehicle. Now, I don't believe Cambridge City Council are trying to kill its citizens and visitors. That's ridiculous. I believe the truth is much more sinister. Cambridge University was where the KGB recruited communist spies. Burgess, Philby, Maclean and Blunt all sold British military secrets to the Soviet Union. Cambridge has a dark past, rooted in communism. Is it a coincidence that they want you to ride a push bike? Think about it. Which country has the most bicycles? Red China.
This is Bob.
We don't want our food on anything other than plates, but now the situation is out of control. You order food at different places and it shows up on all kinds of things. Darren.
Well, I took my daughter down the local boozer, like, the Saturday week. Like, I have done a few times, like, yeah, but this particular time, like, yeah, I ordered mixed grill.
Right.
When they brought it to me, like, I turned around and I said, what's that? She said, oh, well, that's what you ordered. I said, yeah, that is what I've ordered, but why is it on a piece of wood?
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's how it comes. I said, no. I said, I'm not a caveman, sweetheart, like, yeah, I said, Karina, like, she's a Bulgarian girl, lovely girl. I said, look, Karina, like, yeah, I said, if I was to turn this over and tip it on the table and start eating with my hands, your governor wouldn't be impressed, would he? She said, no. I said, well, take it away and put it on a plate.
Well, good for you, Darren.
Well, you know what I'm saying? What's that all about?
You struck a blow for common sense, yeah.
Well, I've been to places as well where they serve it up on a piece of slate.
Yeah.
I said, if I wanted to eat it off a piece of slate, I'd eat it on the roof.
Exactly. When have you been stopped going somewhere? Chris?
I've been stopped getting into a strip club because I had a beanie on.
Really? It's unusual for a strip club to be where people aren't wearing very much to be fussy about you wearing...
Yeah.
It was a beanie hat.
Yeah, you know, the bobble hat.
A bobble hat. It's
Well,
not...
they call them beanies in Australia, don't they?
Oh, so was it in Australia this happened?
No, it's in this country in the East End.
So you're wearing a bobble hat, you try to get in the strip club and they said, I'm sorry, no, that's... So what else were you wearing? Were you only, if you were only wearing a bobble hat, I kind of get that.
No, it's just, excuse me. I was wearing my work clothes.
What was your job?
A grease monkey, a mechanic.
Right, so you're wearing overalls and a bobble hat, and they said the problem was with the bobble hat.
Yeah.
Right, not with the overalls.
No, but they let me in the end.
Did they wearing overalls straight from work?
Well, I took them off and then took my beanie off.
Yeah.
And then they let me in, and I got slung out anyway because I wouldn't tip the girls.
Because you wouldn't tip the girls?
No, because, you know, they're taking their kit off and all this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've never been to a strip club, but I kind of get the idea of how it works. So you're expected to put fivers in their drawers, are you?
Well, yeah, something like that, but... You know, I said to the girls, I've come there for a drink, and I said I've seen it all before now. So
you're man of the world, yeah.
Innit?
Yeah, but so they wouldn't let you in, and then eventually they did, and then they kicked you out.
Yeah.
That wasn't a very good night at all then, was it?
I just went somewhere else.
Yeah, go somewhere. And it wasn't another strip club, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was, and they let you in, and there was no problems there?
Well, at one point, it was when I was more younger back in the day.
Yeah.
We used to know all the strip clubs.
Did you really? All right, well, we're getting into the way too much information portion of the conversation, but thanks for calling, Chris. Let's get the latest news now with Chris Hubbard.
And warnings this morning of an invasion of Asian hornets.
Hornets, right.
Already said to have killed 5 people in France.
Really?
This is what they're saying.
Okay.
And now, according to one of the newspapers this morning, the beasts hunger for British flesh.
Do they really? They've now got a taste for British flesh.
That's right. I'm not entirely sure how they've made it cross the channel.
They bribed a French fisherman. Bob FM.
From Global's newsroom, I'm Fiona Winchester. David Cameron has died. David Bowie has died after
An embarrassing mistake. We've all made mistakes at work. I've made loads of them. So I'd like to know mistakes you've made at work. Natalie.
I was photocopying some music for my students.
Yeah.
And we were studying Dido and Aeneas, and I'd done it at university, so I thought, brilliant, I can use my resources that I used myself at university when I was singing Dido and Aeneas.
Right.
So I sent it all to be photocopied, and then in our first lesson, going through the pieces, we got to a page where I, as a university student, had graffitied all over one of the pages with not only rude words, but also rude pictures. And so my class of 5 A-level students saw what myself at 21 had been drawing.
No!
Controversy this morning over tickets for a street party to mark the Queen's 90th birthday in the Mall.
She never looks like she enjoys these things.
No.
Why don't they find out what she wants? She might just want to go to a harvester.
Bob's Breakfast.
Survey out today of hotels talks about some of the more unusual items left behind, including keys to a Bentley, £10,000 in cash, a mother-in-law and a Shetland pony. I'd like to know what you've left behind. Where'd you leave it? What's the story? Karen?
It's something my husband left behind.
What was it?
Our newborn baby left it in the car.
What? How did this happen?
I had a hospital appointment. She was only a couple of weeks old. He dropped me and our eldest daughter off at the hospital doors, went to park the car, and when he came to meet us at the clinic, he was empty-handed. And after a minute, I said, "Oh, and the baby?" And he said some words and ran off.
Now, I suppose if he's a brand new father, he's not into the routine of keeping his eye on the baby. Maybe you could give him that?
No, second time around. He
Oh, no, all
realised
right.
he was there.
No excuse. Do you ever let him forget it?
Yeah, we're not together now, as in the ex-husband bit, so hey-ho.
Oh, it didn't work out?
No.
Well, I'm no marriage guidance counsellor, but I would say that kind of behaviour would have had a bearing on the fact that the marriage didn't work out.
Possibly.
Bob's Breakfast.
Almost got myself thrown out of a West End theatre on Saturday night.
What were you up to?
Well, I thought it was something quite minor, but it's something they don't take too kindly to. You know, for Christmas, Julie said, I don't want stuff, I want an experience.
Yeah.
So I got tickets to the Garrick Theatre in the West End to see a play called Red Velvet.
Okay, that's a nice theatre.
Yeah, and not a musical. This is a proper serious play. Very, very good play, by the way. Excellent. So when I have a day out, I do like to take lots of pictures and tweet them. Twit pics. So we get to the theatre, and I don't know if you saw, I tweeted a picture of the stage from our seat.
I didn't see this, no.
We're in the third row,
yeah,
right in the middle of the stage. So almost the best seat in the house, very close to it.
You don't want to be on the front row.
A bit too close.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was brilliant seats. So I twit-picked a picture at the beginning of these are our seats, look at this, you know. The first half of the performance starts, and I know you're not supposed to, I quickly took a picture of the actors on the stage.
Yeah.
No flash, very quickly, within seconds. It wasn't like I was taking a video or something. I just lifted up my phone, click, done, right? So the interval comes, and the bloke, now Julie's on my left. There's a bloke next to me on the right that hasn't said a word. Well, he disappears. We didn't need ice creams or anything. We just sat there. He comes back, and within seconds of him coming back, I hear, "Sir, sir, sir," and it's an usher.
That's never good.
And I said, "Yeah? That photograph you took, can you delete it, please?"
What?
And I went, "Yeah, all right." She went, No, can you delete it now? All right. So I get my phone out.
Yeah.
And found the photo, and I deleted it. I said, "There you go, look, it's gone." I showed her the phone.
Yeah.
can you go into your deleted files and delete it from there as well? I said, I don't even know how to do this. And the only reason why I deleted it so quickly, this is Julie's Christmas present.
Yes.
I'm not going to ruin the night out.
No, of course you're not.
Right? And there's hundreds of people in this theatre. They've come to see a show. They're getting one. I'm the show. I'm starring in a two-handed farce with this usher.
This is the halftime entertainment.
Halftime entertainment, like the Super Bowl. Like I'm Coldplay now. So I said, I don't know how to do that. She said, if you go into, I'm like, oh, come on. This is a full-on performance.
Well,
Everybody's
clearly,
watching and
if
listening.
you're asking how to delete this, that you're not going to be using this picture in the future.
Of course,
or
I'm
whatever
not
she's worried
technically
about.
minded. Yes. So I'm farting around with it. And of course, we're right in the front of the theatre. It's not like we're hidden away in the back and this is just going on quietly. This is now a lot of people craning heads from other rows, see what's going on. I'm like, and she goes, no, you go in there. I find this file she's on about, this, it's all photos. So I go in there. I said, I can't see it. She said, it'll be at the top. I'm like, oh, okay. Find it at the top. Delete. I said, there you go. Fine. Okay, thank you. So I sat down, I said, Julie, could you believe that? And she's like, no. She says, somebody's dobbed you in.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, yeah, who would? And then I'm thinking the bloke next to me who nipped out quickly and came back, he didn't come back with an ice cream and he wasn't gone long enough to have gone to the toilet because there would have been a queue. It was definitely him.
You got a snitch in your midst.
Yes, definitely. What kind of... I was doing him no harm.
No.
I wasn't ruining it for him. Like I say, no flash, no fuss, no big deal. What's it to him? He's decided to go out of his way to potentially, because it didn't, potentially ruin the night for a total stranger. Who would do that? Ruin somebody's night? What kind of snivelling snitch would you have to be that mean-spirited that you thought, oh, that's against the rules, so I'm going to report you? What kind of a person does that? Well, I thought, well, I'm not losing, I'm going to win.
Okay. Well, he's obviously met the wrong person.
Absolutely met the wrong person. Actually, before the curtain went up, I went to Google and I Googled the play and I Googled images and I found a picture from on the stage that was taken from about where we were sat. Right. A nice picture of the play in action from the first half.
Yeah.
Almost as good as the picture I'd taken. Very similar perspective. So I downloaded it. And I loaded it up onto the screen of my phone and I held it out. And I said to Julie really loudly, I'm holding the phone out at arm's length so this bloke could see it. I went, you know what? That's the best picture I've taken in here tonight. It's better than the one I deleted. Way better. That's the best picture. I'm glad she didn't make me delete this one. But right, I'm not having that. So, curtain goes up. Second half, lights go down. Lights go down. And I notice this bloke next to me, he's got both elbows on the armrests and he's cradling his chin on it. I mean, he's really into this play.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, at least 50% of that armrest is mine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. At least. And I'm taking no prisoners now. If this is the way you want to play it. So I got my elbow on it and I thought, I'll just touch his elbow. So I leaned so my elbow's touching his. How uncomfortable must that have been stranger touching public? I would hate it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually just touching it and enjoying the play. So then his elbow moves a little bit. It's only a thin armrest. His elbow moves to about halfway on the armrest. So I move mine over and I'm touching again. So then his elbow comes off the armrest.
Yeah.
And he folds his arms. So I'm really onto it now. I'm really winning. So,
this is mind games.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So then I moved my foot so my shoe is touching his shoe on the floor. And that lasted about 3 seconds and he moved his foot about an inch away.
Really?
So I counted to 10 and I moved it and I got it touching again. And then he moved his foot away again. So then I knew I had him because we couldn't have been 10 minutes into the second half. He's looking at his watch.
How long have I got to sit next
This
to
guy's
him?
crazy. So I could see him looking, he's got his arms folded and he's looking at his watch. He's having his night's ruined.
Yes.
Completely ruined. And he's squashed up in the corner of his seat now, getting as far away from me as he can. So then the play finishes, and it was a great play, standing ovation. So we're all standing up and clapping. Of course, I'm clapping with my right-hand elbow right out here, nudging him here, right, every clap. There wasn't a clap I missed when he didn't get elbowed.
I bet you've never clapped so
No,
enthusiastically.
so enthusiastically. The elbow went in, many times, 10, maybe 20 times. He literally got the elbow from me. So then I turned to Julie and said, because she's no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
She turned to her and I said, that was really good, wasn't it? She said, yeah, it was great. I turned and I looked for this other fella. He disappeared.
Completely.
He must have been the first person out of the theatre. Must have been.
It made me wonder what you were going to do right after the performance.
Well, if he'd have stayed, I was going to ask him could I have a selfie with him.
It's Bob.
I'm Graham Mack with your lost and found stories. What's yours, Jane?
My uncle was on the beaches at Dunkirk,
Yeah.
and he lost a St Christopher, Gold St Christopher.
Yeah.
Didn't think any more of it. Anyway, 30 years later, he was on a coach trip with his wife around Cyprus.
Right.
He was sat next to a fella on the coach chatting away to him. He says, I know you from somewhere. And he says, oh, I don't think so. He says, so he went for all the regiments. Still didn't know him. Anyway, he's got this St Christopher around his neck. He said, oh, that's nice. He said, where'd you get that from? He said, I found it on the beach at Dunkirk. He
No way.
You're joking. He said, that's mine. He said, oh, really? And he's like, oh, I said, do you want it back? He said, no. He said, you've had it for 30 years. He said, you found it. He said, you keep it.
That's unbelievable. What are the chances?
I know. I couldn't believe it when he told me, but that is a true story.
Fantastic. Jane, thanks so much for your lost and found story.
Okay, thank you.
They surveyed 1,500 parents. 87% of them said their kids are missing out on special things that they remember. What childhood memories do you have that you're pretty sure your kids won't get, and why? Kerry?
Well, I think it's like the outdoor life thing, isn't it? Like, we never had computers and things like that when we were kids.
Yeah, closest we had to a computer was an Etch-a-Sketch.
Didn't even have that.
You didn't even have an Etch-a-Sketch. Okay, then a colouring book.
Well, I had that every Christmas, a colouring book and pens.
Yes. Right, and what would your kids think today if you gave them a colouring book as a present?
No, I'm on the phone.
Who are you talking to now?
That's my son.
How old is your son?
He's 15.
15? Put him on.
Yeah.
Put him on. What's his
Harry?
name? Harry.
Come here.
Here he comes, 15-year-old Harry.
Hello.
Hello, Harry. Graham Mack from Bob FM. How you going?
I'm good, mate. You?
Okay. I'm going to give you some words. I'd like to know if they mean anything to you, okay? Gladiators?
No.
Findus crispy pancakes.
What?
Yeah. Do you know what a space hopper is?
No.
How about a chopper?
So, helicopter.
Yeah, more of a chopper you could own.
Chopper.
No.
No.
Have you ever blown a dandelion clock?
Yeah. Wait, no, what? No.
Knight Rider?
No.
No. Cola cubes?
No.
Who is Enid Blyton?
I don't know.
All right, well, thank you very much, Harry. Good to talk to you.
Cheers.
Thank you. It's the longest day today, and that means that pagans will be rejoicing everywhere and stoned hippies will be dancing naked. I've never been to Stonehenge for the solstice, but I've been to a stone circle at Avebury in Wiltshire at the solstice, and it was quite interesting because they were all there, and there was like I don't know whether he was the high priest of the pagans or what, but he had a full-on stag's head on top of his head with the antlers and everything, and he was going to each side, and he was going to the north, the west, the east, and he was conducting this ceremony, and it was all, pretty full on. Until later, the image was shattered as I saw him in the pub car park, putting the stag's head in the back of his Nissan Micra. looking for suggestions on what to have on your pancakes. Siobhan.
I have magic mushrooms on my pancakes.
Magic mushrooms, the ones that make you all trippy, like the LSD.
Yeah, the ones at the garden. Yeah.
At the garden. What do you get? Do you go on a trip? All psychedelic. Yeah, I don't think you have magic mushrooms. That's all.
Oh, they taste magic.
I don't think that's why they're called the ones that are called magic mushrooms. I don't think they're called that because of the taste.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Bob.
It's a big night for you tonight, Laura. You're appearing on the Graham Norton Show. It's the taping tonight. It's actually going out Friday night. You're appearing on the Graham Norton Show with Charlie Sheen. Now, that's probably a bit of a stretch. You're in the studio audience. However, they've said that if you submit a question in advance by email, that you will be able to ask Charlie Sheen the question.
Yes.
Which means you could well find yourself on the TV tonight.
Yep.
With Charlie Sheen. So we have to come up with a good question. What question can we ask Charlie Sheen? What do you reckon, Bonzi?
Does he still ride motorbikes?
I didn't realise he did.
Oh no, Barry Sheen. Keep up.
Oh, I see. No, yeah, but he is also famous for getting his leg over, though, isn't he, man?
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
Here you go.
I'm going to give you that. Oh, dear me.
Can we use that? Is that too dirty? What do you think? Is that too... I don't know.
You get away with it. You get away with it.
All right, and thanks a lot.
Bob's Breakfast.
Yesterday, the longest day. Never felt that long to me. I've had longer days than that. So this morning, we're talking about your longest day, those days when the in-laws wouldn't go home, whatever it is. The long days. What's been your longest day? Pete?
I have about 5 of them every week, Graham.
Do you really? What brings them on?
Boredom at work.
Oh, dear. What do you do?
I just sit there all day on a computer, mate.
Yeah.
Just waiting for things to happen so I can do something, you know?
Yeah. Well, did you feel like yesterday, which was supposed to be the longest day, was any longer than any other day?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
No, not really.
No. So
just looking out the window, watching the rain coming down.
Yeah. And what kind of stuff, what kind of work do you do on the computer?
Processing orders.
Yeah.
Moving stock around.
Well, that's important work, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's important work, but I'd rather be doing your job.
Oh, well, calling this a job is actually extending reality just to... This is just farting around for a few hours in the morning, really. That's all this is. Really.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I love listening to some of the things that you talk about, you know. You're so to the point and realistic about things, you know.
There's an avocado-related crime wave going on in New Zealand right now. Since January, there have been close to 40 large-scale thefts from avocado orchards.
How are they stealing them? Are they stealing them off the trees? I'm guessing an avocado grows on a tree because it's a type of pear, isn't it? So I'm guessing, are they stealing them off the trees? Are they raiding the warehouses where they're stored? What's happening, Chris? How is this crime being perpetrated on the good people of New Zealand?
It's been raked from the tree. So somebody's going in there into the orchard with a massive rake and just literally pulling them off the tree.
Right.
Grabbing the avocados and legging it.
What, on foot, or there must be some kind of vehicle involved?
Yeah, I'm guessing there must be some sort of vehicle involved as well, because 350 avocados would be quite heavy.
Yeah. But so maybe they drive the vehicle into the avocado orchard, rake the avocados off, and then drive away in a sinister crime that is known as a drive-by fruiting.
Bob's Breakfast.
We've had a weekend to kind of absorb what's gone on after we voted for Brexit. So how are you feeling this morning? Maya?
I'm all right, actually. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if I should be commenting about it because I'm a foreigner and English people hate the foreigners.
Oh, that's not true.
Because they take their jobs. They complain because there's too many of us.
Oh, Maya.
Which I'm not happy about it because lots of Polish people and foreign people work and do the jobs which English people don't want to do.
So are you feeling unwelcome now?
No, it's just, I think all this referendum wasn't a good idea because it's going to leave the country to their own devices. Our economic's probably going to go down the hill. A recession is probably on the way. And I don't think there are going to be cheap holidays anymore. You know, we could go abroad and buy cheap stuff. I think it's going to be all bad, to be honest with you. You know, I'm not sure.
You sound really sad, Maya, and you normally sound so happy when you call up.
Oh, it's just, you know, well, it's not going to affect me because I've been in this country for too long and, you know, I got my mortgage and keys.
I don't think there's any talk of kicking anybody out.
No, I know, but can you imagine, let's say you got millions of foreigners. Everybody have to apply for a visa or some sort of permit to stay, most of them. It's going to take years, not 2 years. It's probably going to take 10 to 20 years because paperwork's going to take forever.
All right, so you're not happy at all then about the whole Brexit thing?
I'm not really. You know,
right.
I think it was a bit selfish, but hey-ho, I'm not... To be honest with you, what I'm really angry with, when the result has been set on the telly, neither of the winning party were jumping with joy, really. Boris Johnson wasn't really, oh God, yes, we won. He was really like, you know, walking around the police. It's just not, I don't think they thought through what might happen if. I don't think there is plan B.
I'm Graham Mack, reminding you that you should never ride a bicycle naked. This happened on the weekend. Hundreds of naked cyclists rode through central London. It was a protest highlighting how vulnerable they are when they ride the bikes on the road. Cyclists. Spoken about these people many times. I don't get it. Considering how aware they are of how vulnerable they are, it's odd that they're not going to wear clothes and ride bikes, making themselves even more vulnerable. You see, when cyclists do wear clothes, they don't wear protective clothing. Motorcyclists wear leather, which gives a lot of protection. Cyclists wear lycra, which gives almost no protection at all. Haven't they seen the figures? Numbers from the Department of Transport show that cyclists are 17 times more likely to be killed on the road than motorists. Surely riding naked is even more dangerous. And riding naked in a large group, that's going to cause extra problems. One of the biggest causes of road accidents is distracted drivers. Every year, more than 3,000 people are killed and around 500,000 are injured in crashes involving distracted drivers. And there aren't many things more distracting than suddenly seeing hundreds of naked people riding push bikes. Then there's the problem of what happens if they all crash into each other. Only takes one at the front to get a wobble on, go down, and all the others will pile into them. It brings an unfortunate image to mind from a joke that Billy Connolly once told on Parkinson. It involved a naked bottom being the ideal place to park a bike.
This is Bob.
We've voted to leave the EU. Anna, where are you on this decision?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel okay in a way.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't comment on the other things that you've spoken about this week, but I feel like I can comment on this one at least.
Okay. Which way did you vote?
I went out.
Okay.
And I was swinging. I was so torn between both ways, and I was so 50-50. And I was trying to read up about it and trying to listen to everything and find as much information as possible. And I just think I went with my gut in the end, and I felt I don't feel like the EU is working well enough. So I'm not against Europe. I'm a bit worried about being labelled, but I'm not against Europe.
I'm against the way the EU works.
In what way, the way it works? What does it do that bothers you so much?
Just the way that it was, I know that people say that we have got a say in the EU, but I don't feel like our views would be taken into account as much as the other countries, the other 27 countries in there.
Did you vote in the European elections?
No, I wasn't old enough.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. How old are you?
33.
33. You weren't old enough for the last European elections? It was...
Oh, wasn't I? I don't know.
It was 2014 was the last European elections.
Oh, European elections. Oh, no, sorry. I thought you meant to go into the EU. Sorry.
No, we didn't. No, the last referendum, we didn't vote to go in it. We had a referendum in 75. But
Right.
We have European elections. What is it, Laura? Is it every 4 years?
Every 5.
Every 5 years we have European elections. Do you vote in them?
No, I didn't know.
No, but so you say you were worried that we weren't getting enough say, but when you did get a say, you didn't vote.
Ah, fair point. No, I didn't realise that you could vote for that.
You didn't even know?
No.
Okay. But all right, well, you voted to go out and you're happy with that?
In a way, yeah. I think it'll get worse before it gets better.
Bridget?
I'm really not sure I voted the right way.
It is the Queen's actual birthday today, not to be confused with the Queen's official birthday. She gets 2, Laura. Did you know why?
I don't know why.
It's a tradition that started in 1778. If the monarch's not born in the summer,
right,
they are allowed to take an official birthday as well when the weather will be nicer for a birthday.
Oh, I wish we could all do that.
Yes. Here's where it doesn't make sense. I lived in Australia for a long time. I lived in New Zealand for a long time. In Australia and New Zealand, the Queen's official birthday is a public holiday. It moves around, but it's on the nearest Monday. So you get a bank holiday weekend for the Queen's official birthday.
Right, okay.
In June, which is in winter.
Bob. Well, it's a story we can't ignore. This massive search continuing for a second day for an EgyptAir plane that disappeared over the Mediterranean. There's now Greek, Egyptian, French, UK military units all taking part in the operation near Greece's Kopathos Island, looking for this missing plane. It vanished en route from Paris to Cairo, as we know, with 66 passengers and crew when it vanished early yesterday morning. I mean, Greece was saying the radar showed this plane, a big plane, Airbus A320, had made 2 sharp turns and dropped more than about 25,000 feet before plunging into the sea. This is what they're saying the radar shows. Egypt saying the plane was more likely to have been brought down by a terrorist act than a technical fault. So there's some disagreement between the countries there.
How have they worked that? Because you shouldn't be speculating at this stage
shouldn't.
when they haven't even found any wreckage. They thought they'd found wreckage.
But they haven't.
But they haven't found any wreckage. It's like they want to mix it up. Surely if it was a terrorist attack, the terrorist organisation would have claimed responsibility by now. Otherwise, what's the point?
They normally would have done, wouldn't they?
That's the whole. It's the reason why they do these horrific acts, is to get publicity for their cause. So there's no point in them blowing up a plane unless they say they did it.
I think it's not helpful when you've got a country actually coming out and saying this, is it?
Yeah.
It just adds and fuels the fire of speculation.
And what are they basing it on? Because all we know, unless they know more than us, all we know is there was no warning of a terrorist attack beforehand. There's been no claim of responsibility for a terrorist attack. There were 66 people on the plane. 3 of them were air marshals. There were 3 air marshals on the plane. So it's unlikely that somebody managed to get into the cockpit with 3 air marshals on board. As well as that, usually when a bomb goes off on a plane, like in the hold of a plane or in a passenger's baggage something, that's the end of that. But no, this plane made a right turn 90 degrees and then made other turns. That's not how a terrorist... Usually it's just blown out of the sky. So that doesn't make... Where are they getting this terrorist thing? What do they know? What are they not telling us?
It's... possibly putting 2 and 2 together and getting 84. I don't know. There's so many questions that are unanswered at the moment. The Egyptian president has ordered the country's civil aviation ministry, army-run search and rescue centre to take all necessary measures to try and find the wreckage of this plane as well. Like you said, they found items in the sea. Life jackets in the sea were later found not to be from this plane as well. So a lot of questions still hanging over.
Why can't they just say, it's too early to tell what happened. We're going to have a thorough investigation, and as soon as we know something, we'll let you know. Why can't they just leave it at that?
It would make more sense at this stage, because this morning, if there was something to say, we'd be talking about it. We'd be giving you the facts about it.
Yeah.
Yet, there's sort of countries' leaders coming out and saying, it might be this, might be that.
But they're just guessing. Their guess is as good as ours.
That's right.
They were about as connected to this flight as we are.
They were also saying that they tried to contact the pilot when he entered Greek airspace. Everything appeared normal. Then when trying to contact him again, the plane was set to enter Egyptian airspace, but despite repeated calls, the aircraft did not respond. So they don't know what happened there. And until they get this voice recorder...
Yeah.
The cockpit voice recorder again. That's kind of key
and once
to this.
again, once again, cockpit voice recorder. This is a stupid system. The worst place to keep that information is on the plane.
Absolutely.
In this day and age where we've got cloud computing, where it's easy to upload information to a cloud. I have all of my stuff stored on Google Drive. I've got 95 gigabytes of information, and I'm talking movies, music, email, photographs, videos, the whole thing. I've got them all on Google Drive. It's in a cloud. I've no idea where it is. It's not on my computer. It just means any computer I go to in the world, I can access my stuff. You could have the information, the telemetry telling you what the plane's doing, you know, the position of the flaps and the tail and the engines and everything, and the voice recording from the cockpit. You could have that beamed to a cloud and stored somewhere else, anywhere in the world. But no, it's recorded on, I think it's still recorded on analog tape, isn't it?
I think it was the pilots who objected to this.
They did, because it was an invasion of privacy.
That's right.
Private conversations on the cockpit. Well, all they have to do is erase, every time the plane lands, erase the last flight. That's all they have to do. It's easy to do.
Some sort of system in place to do that.
Yeah, and because loads of, I mean, those 2 Malaysian planes that went down quickly, one after the other. There was one that was actually shot down, wasn't there? And then there was the other one. We don't know what happened to it.
That's right.
Black box voice recorder, never found. Never found. 9/11. Voice recorders, never found. The worst place to keep... they're keeping the information in the worst possible place to keep the information. The airline industry has led the way on safety. That's why it's been such a success. Other forms of transport like trains and buses and everything else has learnt from aviation about security, about what to do and how to be safe, and air crash investigations and how they do an investigation, and then they bring in policy almost straight away, changing the rules on whether there needs to be lights on. After that Manchester flight they brought that crashed at Manchester in the 80s, they brought in rules about there needs to be lights in the floor so you can find your way out, which makes sense because all the smoke's at the top and all the exit signs shouldn't be at the top. All these little things they bring in and make it safer and safer and safer, and we're still keeping the essential information in the wrong place. How are you feeling about Brexit now, Bonzi?
I'm not happy still. I voted to stay in.
To stay in, okay.
Because I thought, better the devil you know
Yeah,
than the devil I didn't. I didn't understand too much about it.
yeah.
And, so I just wasn't sure, so. And now, this morning's kicked off, Corbyn's going to say all this and that, and I don't really understand it, Graham.
Yeah, it's all a bit of a mess, isn't it? We just want it all to just settle down and get back to the way it was on Thursday.
Yes, but obviously I just hope it don't get real bad, Violence on the streets and all that, I hope it don't get that bad.
I can't see that happening, because they've actually done what the people wanted, the will of the people. I could see there being problems if we didn't exit after the people voted for us to go out. I could see it being a problem, but it looks like they are going to go through with it.
Yeah.
So I don't see what we've got to riot about. That's all, you know.
Well, there are certain factions out here that, you know, I mean, a lot of it was put down to, a lot of people voted on this because it said, you know, stop all the immigrants coming and everything else.
Yeah, it means we can control our borders.
You're never going to stop that anyway, I don't think.
Right.
And there's people who still want to see all of them kicked out. Well, there are certain groups that will cause aggro to get rid of them.
Right.
I just don't want to see that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a peace-loving man.
So, I mean, this is, you know, this sounds like you're saying it's almost as sinister as what was going on in the 30s in Germany.
Who knows? Yeah.
Because there was a prejudice against people who had come from Eastern Europe because of conflict, pretty much as the Jewish people who'd come out of the Russian Revolution and whatever.
No one ever wants to see that.
No. So you're worried that they could get to that scale?
Well, no, I just pray it doesn't. I mean, I know there's plenty of idiots about, we know that.
Yeah.
And you just never know.
Superman is real. He actually saved a lady who was being robbed at a cash point machine in Gloucester. Bloke dressed as Superman. Now, he wasn't a superhero. He was wearing the costume for a charity thing, but he saw her being attacked through the window while he was having breakfast and ran out and helped her. So I'd like to know your fancy dress story. What's yours, Mark?
Well, my missus was going out with her friends to a fancy dress party, and I was invited, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go. But I'd made arrangements with her friends to go.
Okay.
So I went out and bought a Darth Vader outfit with a voice changer, the big black cape, the mask, everything else, the lightsaber.
Yeah.
They all went to the pub. I turned up a little bit after she had got there. She didn't know I was there. I had this mask on. She went to the bar. I stood at the bar beside her with the voice changer on and started trying to chat her up.
Right.
And she just looked at me and went, "Go away."
You freak.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, "Go away." Not interested. I was laughing and she couldn't work out, and she was talking to her friends and like, "Oh, that bloke's trying to chat me up." And then when I took the face mask off, I got a clout around the ear roll.
Well, fair enough too.
Bob's Breakfast.
I'm Graham Mack, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you are, make sure you share it on Facebook and Twitter, and you can subscribe at iTunes. Fancy dress stories this morning. Ben, what's yours?
A few years back, a friend of mine had his 21st birthday party, and it was fancy dress.
Yeah.
My girlfriend decided to go as Catwoman, and I decided to go as Busby the BT Bird.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Great night. Really enjoyed ourselves. Unfortunately, on the way, when we got home, I'd realised I hadn't got the keys to the house.
Right.
So, as we were quite in a jolly mood, I saw a window that was open.
Yeah.
A top window on the ground floor, and I thought, you know what, I can climb through that. Not a problem.
Right.
Unfortunately, after my girlfriend gave me a boost up and pushed me through, halfway through I got stuck in the window.
Right.
Whilst I was stuck halfway in with halfway out in a yellow feathered suit with orange stockings and bird feet, I heard a voice saying, "Hello, sir, what have we got here?" I looked through the window and it was a policeman.
No.
Someone had actually reported a burglary.
Right.
And whilst I tried to explain I'd been to a party and it's my house, after the fits of laughter, he phoned the station at Hitchin and said, "It's a false alarm, but I've got Busby and Catwoman in custody." And all I heard was on the radio was the controller laughing, like wetting their pants. And with his assistance, he managed to push me through to the window so I could get in and get out from the other side. I think that was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
Bob's Breakfast.
An Indian man, have you seen this?
No.
He's had 366 flags tattooed on his body and all of his teeth removed. to try and get more Guinness World Records to his collection. He's made these big modifications to his body so he could put nearly, and this was the aim behind it, of having all his teeth removed, so that he could put 500 drinking straws in his mouth and more than 50 burning candles as well. This is apparently a Guinness World Record.
No, hang on. So he's got the record for the most flags tattooed to his body.
That's right. Yeah.
The record for the most drinking straws in his mouth.
Yep.
And burning candles?
Burning candles, yeah. And this is why he had his teeth taken out. Because he wanted to cram more candles into his mouth.
Lucky it's just his mouth, because he sounds like a busy fella, and I'd hate to think he's burning the candle at both ends. Been a lot of stories lately about whether the Spice Girls are going to get back together for a 20-year reunion. I've managed to get Geri Halliwell on the phone. She's now known as Geri Horner. Come on then, Geri. Is there going to be a Spice Girls reunion?
Would you like there to be one?
Yes!
Do you know what, Graham? I love you. But you know what? Today I'm not going to share that with you.
You're not going to... I only mention that because there's news out today that Victoria's not keen and Mel C's already pulled out.
Oh, I think you just have to wait and see, won't you?
But if it was up to you, Geri, because obviously you've got to get 5 people to agree on this. If it was up to you...
I'm going to get you up there. Do you know what? We're going to get you some hot pants. And we're going to get you to a really little bottom.
Yeah.
And you can do it.
I wouldn't look good in the Union Jack dress, I don't think. But what do you think? If it was up to you, are you up for it?
To keep you all guessing.
Oh, nicely deflected.
This is Bob FM.
Fancy dress stories this morning. What's yours, Sam?
My friends had a joint 25th birthday party.
Yeah.
And they had a theme, and it was a children's party. So I thought, I've got no idea what to go as, limited funds because I wasn't being paid very well, so I couldn't go flash all out on a costume.
Uh-huh.
But I managed to find a fancy dress shop that had, it was like, God, this is going to sound awful. Please don't get the wrong idea. It was like a giant baby costume. Oh, dear God, I'm cringing now just at the thought of it. I had the big nappy, the booties, the bonnet, the bib, the whole lot.
The giant dummy?
No, I didn't have... I refused. I had that round my neck.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, my sister decided, well, I'll drive you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd got ready at my mum's in Stevenage. So my sister drove me over to Chilling, sorry. And I had no cash on me. So I asked my sister to pull up at a cash point in Stevenage Old Town so that she could go and get some money for me.
Yes, good plan.
And I gave her my card, I gave her my PIN number, and she just looked at me and she went, "No, you do it."
Oh, no!
Honest to God, Graham, I can't remember the last time I was that embarrassed. That little moo bag made me get out of her car in the middle of Stevenage Old Town, dressed as a giant baby, to get my own cash. I mean, that is just mean. And how many people were out in Stevenage Old Town at that time on a Saturday night? Lots.
Oh, no, I'm feeling your pain.
Oh, it was so embarrassing.
Bob's Breakfast.
How are you feeling this morning, Maya?
I couldn't be happier.
Why are you happy?
Because we had Brexit twice in a week.
Now, you're originally from Poland, so when I spoke to you yesterday, you weren't happy about the Brexit thing. You were
I'm
feeling
still not happy.
Okay, but you're happy because England went out of the football.
Oh, yes. They're absolutely rubbish. I'm sorry. They should learn from the migrants how to play football.
He should. They should. I reckon you could have played better, Maya. I'm a rubbish footballer. I reckon I could have played better. Oh, they were terrible. So this has made...
Absolutely rubbish.
So this has lifted it for you.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Okay.
I'm so happy.
I don't think there's a bigger story than the Hillsborough story. There are so many levels to it. On April the 15th, 1989, 96 people died when they went to watch a football match. And if you look at the names on the memorial at Anfield, or when they're printed in the papers, wherever you see that list, first thing that strikes you is how young some of the victims were. The youngest was 10 years old. 22 of them were under the age of 18. They weren't even 18. They were unlawfully killed. They did nothing wrong. But for 27 years, the fans have been blamed for causing the tragedy. The police lied on a scale I don't think we've ever seen before. They changed statements. The Sun newspaper, the next day, the day after the tragedy, ran a front page under the banner The Truth, which said, fans urinated on policemen. They beat up a policeman giving the kiss of life and picked the pockets of the dead. None of it true. And the lies stuck for 27 years. And they stuck because of prejudice. A prejudice, let's face it, against working class people, football supporters, and people from the city of Liverpool in particular. No other group in this country can be vilified in this way. You can't say someone is dishonest or a criminal just because they're black or gay or follow a particular faith, but for years it's been acceptable to use the phrase thieving scousers. And the prejudice grew, and so the lies were believed. Every time I've been to a Liverpool match, when Liverpool have played Manchester United, the families of the Hillsborough victims who've been in the crowd have had to listen to Manchester United fans chant, murderers, murderers, murderers. People who lost their children have had to listen to this. And so yesterday, the truth finally came out. And so on my blog, all I did was publish a poem by a bloke called Dave Kirby. The poem's called The Justice Bell. It came out on the 13th anniversary of the Hillsborough disaster. Now, I've changed 13 years to 27 years, and I changed the last line to bring it up to date. This is the Justice Bell. A schoolboy holds a leather ball in a photograph on a bedroom wall. The bed is made, the curtains drawn, as silence greets the break of dawn. The dusk gives way to morning light, revealing shades of red and white, which hang from posters locked in time of the Liverpool team of '89. Upon a pale white quilted sheet, a football kit is folded neat. A yellow scarf, trimmed with red, and some football boots beside the bed. In hope, the room wakes each day to see the boy who used to play. But once again, it wakes alone, for this young boy is not coming home. Outside, the springtime fills the air. The smell of life is everywhere. Violas bloom and tulips grow, and daffodils dance heel to toe. These should be such special times for a boy who would now be in his prime. But spring forever turns to grey in the Yorkshire sun one April day. The clock was locked at 3:06 as sun shone down upon the pitch lighting up faces, etched in pain, as death descended on Lepping's Lane. Between the bars an arm is raised, amidst a human tidal wave. A young hand, yearning to be saved, grows weak inside this deathly cage. A boy not barely in his teens is lost among the dying screams. A body too frail to fight for breath is drowned below a sea of death. His outstretched arm then disappears to signal 27 years of tears. 96 souls of those who fell await the toll of the justice bell. Ever since that disastrous day, a vision comes my way. I reach and grab his outstretched arm, then pull him up away from harm. We both embrace with tear-filled eyes. I then awake and realize it's just the same old dream I have each week as I quietly cry myself to sleep. On the 15th of April every year, when all is calm and skies are clear, beneath a glowing Yorkshire moon, a lone Scots piper plays a tune. The tune rings out the justice cause, then blows due west across the moors. It passes the eternal flame, then engulfs a young boy's picture frame. His room is as it was that day. For 27 years, it stayed that way, untouched and frozen in time, since that tragic day in '89. And as it plays its haunting sound, tears are heard from miles around. The tears from the families of those who fell, who now can hear the justice bell.